Tainan was a city I left out during my last trip to Taiwan, and I have always regretted it, which is why recently I made a trip back to Taiwan just to visit its oldest city. Tainan is often called the soul of Taiwan and is a treasure trove of history, culture, and as it is also known as the food capital of Taiwan, you will also find plenty of mouth-watering food options here. In today's video, I'm going to show you everything I see, ate, and did in a basically overnight trip to Tainan. And spoiler alert, you are going to be adding Tainan to your Taiwan trip itinerary by the end of this video, which is why I'm also going to show you everything else like where to stay, how to get around, etc. so that you can basically navigate Tainan like a seasoned pro. By the way, I'm Steve from the Phat Life Project. Welcome back to my channel. If you're already a subscriber, why hello there. I hope you're having a great weekend so far and thank you for spending it with me. And if you're new to the channel, why welcome. My channel is full of travel guides just like the one that you're watching right now, so definitely subscribe along if you want to go on more Phat travel adventures with me. And with all of that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? Let's start with how to get there. Most of us would commonly head to Tainan from Taipei via a high-speed train. On this trip, I actually headed directly from Taoyuan Airport to Tainan.
And just like that, we've arrived in Tainan.
The first thing you need to know is how far the Tainan high-speed rail station is from the city center. It will take you about an hour if you're catching a bus, but because it was quite late in the night for me, I caught a cab to take me to my hotel that's located right in the city center. This is Hotel Cozy and my room was actually quite spacious. I mean, come on, just look at this. It is also worth mentioning how family-friendly the hotel is. I mean, just look at all this cute decor. They are clearly ready for Halloween. And the place even has an outdoor train track and playground for the kids. I have to say, for under $100 a night, this place is an absolute steal.
So I'm all checked in now and exploring Tainan. As always, my first order of business has to be food, and so we are here at one of the local night markets. This is Wusheng Night Market, Wusheng Yeshi.
Wusheng Night Market is the third largest night market in Tainan, known not only for its authentic old-school Taiwanese street eats, but also for its lively, no-frills atmosphere, complete with live performances, carnival rides, and games.
And it's so surprising because I'm actually here on a weekday and it's so busy.
It is open on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and is definitely a lot more traditional and catered to the locals compared to the other night market that I'll be checking out later on in this video. Like any good Taiwanese night market, the food here was cheap and delicious. I spent like under $10 here and was so full by the end of it. There was honestly so much to explore, but I was quite tired after getting off a flight and traveling for 2 hours to Tainan, and so I decided to head back to my hotel for an early night.
Good morning from Tainan. Excuse the hair, but I just finished off the run at the hotel gym here before I start off a very jam-packed day here in Tainan. Are you ready? Let's go.
And we're starting off our day in Tainan with a good Taiwanese breakfast. I am here at Wei Pin, a Michelin Bib Gourmand local eatery best known for its wan guo, aka savory rice pudding and milkfish soup. It is located at Wusheng Market and starts operating early in the morning at 5 AM all the way till 5 PM. This savory rice pudding is made by combining local rice milk, ground pork sauce, and shrimp, giving it a deeply flavorful profile typical of Tainan's culinary scene. The shop also serves up another Tainan classic, milkfish thick soup, a popular pairing choice alongside the pudding. Many locals will also recommend you add some garlic or wasabi to enhance the flavors, and though seating here is very limited, the delicious taste of both of these dishes makes this place worth visiting. It should come as no surprise that Taiwan's oldest city is full of history, and in this next section, I'm going to be showing you some of the places that you absolutely need to check out. Our first location is the Wenchang Pavilion at Chikan Tower, aka赤崁樓文昌閣. Built on the foundations of the old Fort Provincia, a Dutch fort that has been here since the mid-17th century, this pavilion uniquely blends elements of Dutch brickwork at the base with traditional Minnan Chinese architecture at the top. Each level serves a different purpose. The bottom level is an exhibition space, whilst the second floor houses a shrine to Kuising, sometimes known as the Star Prince, a deity associated with literature, academic success, and civil examinations. Tainan is also home to over 1,000 temples, each with its own unique historical backstory. This is the Tainan Grand Mazu Temple, Da Tianhou Gong, which is a richly historic temple that was originally built way back in 1664 as the mansion of Prince Ninjing of the Ming Dynasty. It was later converted into a temple in honor of Mazu, the sea goddess and protector of fishermen and seafarers. Its architecture features classic southern Fujian elements that has to be seen to be believed. The temple is open daily from 6 AM to 9 PM, is free to enter, and sits within walking distance to several other famous landmarks, making it an easy stop to add to your Tainan trip itinerary itinerary. But I bet you did not expect a department store to pop up on this list. This is the Hayashi department store. It is a landmark heritage building of Japanese origins that beautifully weaves together history, architecture, culture, and commerce. It was originally constructed in 1932 but has since been restored as a heritage site in 1998. Hot tip, while you're here, don't forget to go all the way up to the rooftop to see this Shinto shrine and observatory. And as you're going up, have a look around as many of the architectural details including floors, staircases, and facades, including one of Taiwan's oldest working elevators, have been beautifully preserved and restored. It is quite possibly the most unique place I've been to in Taiwan. If you're a movie buff, this next spot is a must visit. Did you know that Tainan is also home to Taiwan's most iconic cinema that has not only been around since the 50s but is also known for its hand-painted movie posters and where film director Ang Lee used to hang out. Sadly, at the time of the writing of this video, Quan Mei Theatre has temporarily suspended their operations until further notice, but here's hoping that this beautiful piece of history eventually reopens. However, I would still recommend you pay them a visit even if they're not open, as the exterior of the cinema is still wonderfully nostalgic to look at. Located around the corner is the Tainan Confucius Temple, which is a must visit as it is Taiwan's oldest Confucian temple and historic center of education and culture. Built back in 1665, this place has over the centuries served not only as a place of worship for Confucius but also as Taiwan's first public academy. If you're looking for something a bit more modern, or if you're like myself and was there during summer and just need a bit of air conditioning, I strongly recommend checking out Hainan Art Museum Building 2. The 5-story building contains around 16 to 17 galleries and exhibits aside, the building itself is also a work of architecture worth exploring on its own merit. Though if I had to name one thing that Taiwan is severely underestimated for, it would be their cafe culture, which is why visiting a cafe or two is a must. And this cafe is not for everyone. As you can see, you will have to first fit through this narrow alleyway in order to get it. But once you get through and climb up some narrow staircases, you will see a small cozy cafe that seems to be stuck in the old times and also giving serious Ghibli energy. Comprising rustic wooden floors, high ceilings, bookshelves, and large windows facing the nearby Tainan Confucius Temple grounds. Its chill, mellow atmosphere is ideal for just relaxing with a drink or dessert. Highly recommend you check out the Narrow Door Cafe. Just a quick note that all the places that I've covered up to this point are within walking distance in the city center, but after that coffee break I decided to head over to Anping, Tainan's oldest district, known for its rich history, charming old streets, and also as the birthplace of Taiwan's modern civilization. But before we talk about all the places that you need to check out in Anping, I wanted to quickly talk about the public transportation situation here in Tainan. Yes, there are buses and trains that you can take, and you can ride all of them using your Easy Yo-Yo card that you got in Taipei, or really any Taiwan IC travel card. However, they do not come as frequently as they do compared to the other cities that I've been to in Taiwan, so definitely make some allowance for it when you're traveling around the city, or if you're doing what I did, which is just to spend a day in Tainan, just catch an Uber if you need to. They're not expensive. I think every single Uber ride I took cost me under 300 Taiwan dollars. Starting with Fort Zeelandia, which is also known as the Anping Fort. It is a historic Dutch fortress built between 1624 to 1634. It served as a major administrative, military, and commercial hub during the Dutch era of colonial Taiwan. Although many of its original structures have been damaged or eroded, many relics have survived, and this site is also now a museum. Appropriately located in the same area is the Xishe Xilong Temple, that's dedicated to a protective deity that the coastal communities worship for safety at sea and general well-being. The temple has been reconstructed many times over the years and is quite visually striking to look at. Today, it remains an active site of devotion and tradition for locals and visitors to understand a part of Tainan's coastal faith culture. Speaking of understanding Tainan's coastal history, you absolutely must visit Wong Ji Shi. And if you can understand Mandarin, you will by this point be thinking, what did you just call it? You see, the mansion was constructed by a local entrepreneur named Wong Ji Shi, and his given name literally translates to chicken poop in Mandarin, which gives the house its quirky nickname. That funny fact aside, this was the most luxurious private residence in the Anping area back in 1937. Today, the mansion is still owned by the descendants of the original owner, however, it is no longer inhabited. Visitors are not allowed in, but are welcome to view the exterior and admire the facade of the mansion, which is a unique amalgamation of East meets West elements, reflective of the influence of of these different cultural styles during that era. One of the key spots in the Anping area that is worth visiting is the Anping Old Street, the oldest street in Tainan and one of the most atmospheric parts of the city. It was once the bustling commercial hub during the Dutch colonial era, but is now a lively maze of narrow alleys filled with traditional red brick buildings, souvenir shops, and street food vendors. I personally love how the street retains an old-world charm. Explore around and see how many of these tigers with knives in its mouth can you find, which are put into place to protect the feng shui flow of the place. After spending an entire afternoon exploring Anping, it was time to head over to Hainan's largest and most famous night market for dinner. This is Garden Night Market,花园夜市. It started back in 1999, which is over 25 years ago, and today comprises well over 400 stalls, though not all of them are food as you can see, that can be divided into 4 distinct areas: food, fashion, clothing, general merch, and games/entertainment. The market is open on Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays from about 5 p.m. generally until about midnight, though it is especially crowded from 7 to 9 p.m. And like any good Taiwanese night market, you will find every single Taiwanese street food imaginable. Definitely a spot that I recommend you add to your Tainan itinerary. You guys will already know if you're a subscriber that visiting a secret bar or two is an absolute must for me no matter what city I'm in. And so here I am at the Chikan Pharmacy Bar, one of the city's most atmospheric speakeasies. You will find it tucked away along a narrow alley opposite the Chikan Temple. As the name suggests, this bar is located inside the old Chikan Pharmacy building, and so it should come as no surprise that the decor leans heavily on the antique side of things. Think old herbal drawers, vintage medicinal bottles, dim mood lighting, with every detail of the space giving that medicinal apothecary ambience. The cocktails continue on that theme, many of which are gin-based but infused with herbs, tea, or Chinese medicinal flavors. I came here with some friends and we had a fantastic time. Good morning. Sadly, it is my last day here in Tainan. Before I head off to board the high-speed rail though, let's go check out another cafe. I'm here at PariPari, a 3-story cafe, shop, and accommodation hybrid. The decor is a blend of nostalgic retro Japanese kisaten and local Taiwanese vintage style. On the first floor, there's a select shop selling design and antique knickknacks by Taiwanese artists. The second floor is the cafe, whereas the third floor serves as a small boutique guest house called the PariPari apartment for travelers who want to stay overnight. The coffee here is fantastic, by the way, as was the egg sandwich that I had. It was finally time to leave Tainan, and you know, I think I'm gonna miss it. Honestly, every time I head to somewhere new in Taiwan, I feel like I fall in love again, and Tainan is officially my new favorite. I'm gonna miss you, Tainan. 再见. I do hope that you found value in today's video, and if you have, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all the good things that you know are gonna appease those YouTube algorithm gods, but much more importantly, it's just gonna make my day as a content creator. Specifically, if you do have a comment or feedback for me, do drop me a comment in the comment section, as I love hearing from the people who take time to watch my videos. And if you're planning a trip to Taiwan, you're probably looking for travel guides to cities such as Taipei, Taichung, and Kaohsiung. I have done travel guides for all of those, and will link those at the end of this video so that you can go ahead and watch those next. And if you got to this point of the video, thank you so much for watching. I really do mean it when I say it means absolutely everything. I do hope that you have a fantastic day ahead, or that you've already had a good day. As always, I will see you real soon in the next video. Ciao!
Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cheers.